This podcast is a part of the Royal We Network.
Spit on me.
This podcast is brought to you by Audible.com.
Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/royalwecast.
They have over 180,000 different titles to choose from for your iPod,
iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. A book that we recommend is Born Standing Up by Mr. Steve Martin.
Yep.
Yep. Science, stamp it. Boop.
Remember that thing we were watching the other day? I don't know if it was his own show. I don't know anything about it because we just saw it on YouTube. Mm-hmm. But it was Kobayashi trying to out-eat a bear.
Yeah.
Have we talked about this?
I don't think we've talked about it on the podcast.
The best thing about that was those two dickhead announcers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Look how skinny young Kobayashi is in.
Yeah.
The other guy's a bear.
What I don't get is like why he was even. First of all, why was he doing that? Like, I wonder if it was. I'm sure they paid him well, but
well,
still,
it was like a
tournament eat off.
A tournament, but like it had like American Gladiators kind of vibe to it, like low filming and like big lights and like
like a game show, like almost like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire type of set.
And there was a plate of probably 100 hot dogs or so.
At least 50, 75, 100. I mean, a big ass pile.
Just
of hot dogs.
a big pile of hot dog in front of Kobayashi, who's like a small Asian man, and there's a big grizzly bear.
They lead out a grizzly bear that was as big as his fucking couch, and it just lumbers out, and it's like,
And Kobayashi gets a good lead.
Yeah, because he starts eating, like they say go, and the bear doesn't know what the hell's going on. So the bear's just like looking around for a few minutes, and the whole time Kobayashi's like taking fistfuls of wieners, just like eating them like 4 at a time, like as fast as he can go. Like, yeah, but you're right, the whole time those announcers are like, look at Kobayashi, just the skill on this man. He's able to, the precision that he can eat those hot dogs with it's just phenomenal.
And you know what, Nathan? I don't think the bear realizes that he's in a contest.
And that's a crucial step. You bring out a good point. It's a crucial step to winning a contest is realizing you are in a contest. And this is exactly like how it was.
Oh, for sure. But Kobayashi loses so hard.
Yeah, because once the bear gets a whiff of the hot dogs, he just takes its paw up and starts shoveling them in its mouth.
Well, he's just like licking them.
Yeah, licking them up and just like...
he cleans the plate in a matter of a minute, a minute or two.
And it looks like, he sniffs around like he wanted more hot dogs, and Kobayashi's ever about ready to pop.
Yeah. Well, I read a thing about it where apparently when they did the rehearsal, Kobayashi beat the bear.
What?
In the rehearsal, but... between rehearsal and the actual filming,
the bear didn't eat.
The guy didn't feed the bear at all. Mm-hmm. Like the bear handler was like, "Well, I didn't feed him. I thought it would be better TV." So the bear was starving.
It's more realistic TV. A bear is going to out eat a man. I think anytime. If a man is on the verge of starving and a bear is on the verge of starving, the bear's going to eat that man.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah,
I bet you a bear. Hot dogs.
The size of that bear, a single hot dog would be like us eating like a small, not even like a chicken nugget size thing for. It would be like
a single hot dog, man. I've always maintained a single hot dog isn't enough for anyone.
No, I don't think.
No,
especially just a wiener. But if you're eating wieners and your teeth get that weird feeling, you get that weird
wiener feeling.
Yeah, no, your teeth don't feel like wieners. But if you eat a raw wiener, it leaves that.
I wasn't trying to say you eat a bunch of wieners, your teeth feel like wieners. Look at my teeth.
They look like wieners.
Are they wieners or are they teeth?
They're just wieners hanging there. Feel like it.
I had a lot of wieners.
No, but they leave like a weird gritty feeling in your mouth.
Like oily kind of? Like greasy?
Something like a gritty.
I don't know. Maybe when I eat spinach, it's like that.
Really? Yeah. I've never, Maybe people's teeth feel different things for different people.
Each man has a different the teeth feeling. But I remember my brother, I don't know why we decided to do this. My buddy Cody and I actually... front of the show.
Real quick,
can
we say what actually the funniest thing that whole thing was what? In the YouTube comments?
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, we scrolled down at the bottom. What was it? It was this guy said...
He said, I was high as shit.
Oh, when I clicked this, I'm high as fuck. When I clicked this video, I thought it was going to be a video of Kobayashi eating a bear.
Can you imagine that guy being like, oh, fuck. God, let's click on... Oh, man, that's not what I thought it was at all. Yes, Kobayashi's going to eat a bear.
I used to play a game. That is a fun game, man. I used to play this game with my buddy Jack Wolf, friend of the show. Uh-huh. We would get high as fuck, and we would watch YouTube videos and try not to laugh. Uh-huh. We would just watch YouTube videos and just try to stonewall them. You can't even last 20 seconds.
Yeah,
dude, it is a fun game.
You just laugh at everything. Everything
is stupid.
Yeah.
I've only ever been high like maybe 3-4 times in my life. Mm-hmm. Every time it's been a goddamn adventure, man.
We got one of my favorite times ever was me and a couple of my buddies got high and decided to watch all the Star Wars movies, like the original trilogy. And we've seen. I mean, we grew up with them. We've seen them.
They're not funny.
And we've watched them dozens and dozens of times each. You know what I mean? And we would just start laughing. I mean, there were parts that were so funny. Like, look how mad Vader got. He was so mad he didn't even choke anybody. Oh my God, those guys were like, oh shit. Like where the guy jumps on the speeder bike in the indoor forest when they steal his what's his name, steals the wicket, whatever, steals his speeder and takes off, and the other guy's like, I'll get him. He jumps on and is like employee of the month. He's like, tick-a-pock-a-pock on those controls and goes, whoa! And we were like, holy shit, like that guy's on his game. Like,
it's weird you took those movies and kind of turned them into comedies. Like,
but they were, I mean, that's not even funny really repeating it now, but at the time and watching it in the situation, you're like, holy shit.
Right.
Yeah, like Vader, he was so mad he didn't even choke anybody.
I remember when we were playing that YouTube game, we were living with my buddy Mitch at the time, and oh my God. This is a story that I remember every time I told him, Mitch would get angry. He would like still be angry about it. We lived and we all shared the same bathroom. There were 3 of us, but there were 4. I think I maybe even told this story already. There were 4 towels in the bathroom, and Mitch had like some important jobs. He couldn't smoke, so we would get really high, and he would just not be.
Right.
And our game would be like, don't let him know that we smoked. Right, which isn't possible.
Right.
But he came in to like yell at us, like, okay, listen up. You fucks. There are 4 towels in the bathroom. There's only 3 of us. Tell me, what color is your towel? And I'm like, don't let him know. Don't let him know that you're high. Don't let him know you're high. And I go, the blue one and the green one. And then I realized I fucked up because I told him 2 of them were mine. He got so angry. Oh, it was so great. I was like, oh no.
Well, he was just mad that you were high, or he was mad that
he wasn't mad at all. He was just mad that there was extra towels in the bathroom. It means there's like a dirty towel there. I don't know.
Oh, gotcha.
There's no reason. There was no reason for him to be mad.
Okay.
No. Just goddamn idiots. Because I immediately dropped the ball. I was like, the blue one and the green one. Oh no, he knows. But I was gonna say, my buddy, this is like just friend of the show. My buddy Cody, friend of the show. 4th of July, we just forced a hot dog eating contest upon people who didn't even know we were gonna show up. We went to the store, we bought like 80 hot dogs. Like those, those huge packs.
Yeah.
I don't know how many we got, but
wow, that's still a lot of dogs.
we just showed up at this kid's house. We just showed up at Griffin's house with his family. And my little brother was there, and they were eating. They were currently like eating a barbecue. My brother was eating a sandwich. We said, "Hot dog eating contest, let's go!" And Ben goes, "Let me finish my sandwich.
Let me warm up."
And he still won. He goes, "Let me finish the sandwich and take a burl, and then I'll beat you boys. I'll be right back." How many hot dogs do you think that man ate? How many hot dogs? Well, let me tell you. How many hot dogs do you think you could eat?
I don't know. Are we just talking like ketchup, mustard, and a bun?
And a bun, yeah. You can put whatever you wanted.
I would say ketchup, mustard, and a bun.
We had like pickles and onions and everything, but I was just going mustard and ketchup.
Yeah.
Because otherwise,
you pile all that stuff on there, you're filling up with extra stuff. Unless everybody's eating it, competition wise.
So it was
I don't know, because the bread's, I don't know, maybe a dozen, 10, a dozen.
I think,
maybe.
I don't think I got the double digits. I think I hit 9.
I was see them thinking that, but I don't know if that would happen in real life.
My little brother ate 13. He ate 13. Now we call him 13 dogs. If that man was on empty, he probably get near 15, 16.
Yeah, he already ate a barbecue on top of that. God.
We call him 13 Dogs Ben.
13 Dogs Ben.
That's his Navajo name.
First thing he ate after he was born.
Just come out and start shoving the hot dog.
Little booger ate 13 of them.
You know how hard it was for our tribe to make hot dogs? How's a Navajo tribe going to make hot dogs?
We traveled, we followed the great buffalo for many moons.
We processed their meat into tubes.
Buffalo tubes. The white man knows them as hot dogs.
They are neither hot nor... Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
They are neither hot nor dog.
He turned into like a creepy wizard.
There's one who may help you find the dogs that are hot. But yeah, Ben, he beat the pants off us. No contest, man.
It's funny. We had a barbecue. This guy, I don't know what we called him. But he was this really young guy, but he was really really big. He reminded you of like a human version, that inflatable robot thing from Big Hero 6. Like he was like a human version of him, just like a big kind of fluffy, soft dude who was
Sure.
like 6'4".
Sure.
We invited him over one night and we are like drinking some beers and stuff. And one of our friends' mom, her dad or something, had made a bunch of venison barbecue, a bunch of deer Q, and it's just like regular barbecue. It's just
But made
out of And they brought that over, and like we ate a little bit of it. There's still like a bunch of it over there, and we kind of like fell asleep in the middle of the night, dude. This kid gets up in the darkness, and we could hear him. He gets up in the dark in the middle of the night, and you just hear this like rustling around in the kitchen. And all you hear is darkness and it's just something eating in the dark. We're like, what the fuck? Is that him in there eating? Yeah, we got the next day and he ate all that deer Q. Like, there was enough for like, we estimated there was enough for at least maybe 6 or 8 sandwiches. And that
He just went to town.
he ate all the deer Q, man. Maybe not. I'd say there's good for at least 6 sandwiches worth of Q. And he ate all the Q, the deer Q.
The Q. The deer Q.
Eating Q.
I've always wondered after, like, whenever Kobayashi does something like that, what kind of burls is that man taking?
It doesn't, yeah.
You can, like, see his body is full of food.
Yeah.
Because he's, like, a in-shape dude.
I would imagine maybe they just take a whole break, like don't eat anything for like a day, drink a bunch of water, and just let it get out of them. Because if you start throwing up, if you start going down that road, because there's probably some people
Well, that fucks up
do
your
it.
esophagus.
Yeah, if you start,
Back of your teeth.
yeah, all kinds of stuff. I mean, that's just not a good thing for your body. First of all,
Eating
eat all-
80 goddamn hot dogs is not good for your body.
right, and throwing them back up is doubly not bad. So I guess you just have to take the hit and just drink a bunch of water and not eat for a day or something and let it get out of your body. You know,
There has to be a
Cleanse
point.
it.
There's definitely a point where your body goes, we don't, no.
like think of the
Just
salt.
flushes it
Yeah,
out.
yeah, think of like because that's the thing too. Is I wonder like your body can only absorb so much in so much time. So if these guys have high metabolism, I said a lot of them they're not fat dudes. You know, most of them are in
Kobayashi,
shape.
he's in shape, yeah.
So I mean, that's the things. They probably have good metabolisms and good, and they're not eating this shit like every day. It's just like they practice drinking water and stuff just to get their stomach going. And then so I imagine if they eat all that, it probably goes through their body so much. I'm sure they're taking terrible burls, but I bet there's only so much their body can absorb.
Just the hot dog is coming out.
Yeah,
Like it's not even
pieces of hot dog.
It's not even digested at all.
Yeah.
Because he's not chewing so much.
No, he's just swallowing half.
What an insane concept of competitive eating.
God, dude, I know. It's insane to me. I remember we've already talked about that, but the guy that came down with, or no, that really happened, dude. It was in my mind. I was about ready to
The
tell
man who came down the mountain.
and ate all the eggs. I was about ready to tell that like it really happened. That wasn't I made that up. But I was just saying that's what I used to claim. That's what demons were back in olden days because it was about a guy that ate eggs.
It was like 120 or something.
He ate like around something like that, over 100 eggs, and the next person in the next place, second place, was only 80 something. This guy ate over 30, 40 eggs more than the second place guy. I was like, if this was olden times and you came into a village and you just ran through the town and ate 130 eggs, like somebody's not making it through the winter. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
feel like, the thing about eggs though, I feel like you could just an egg. You know what I mean? Or like hot dogs is kind of, but like egg.
egg is hot dogs are nom. But if you're swallowing whole eggs, you still got to mash them up in your mouth a bit. You can't be swallowing whole eggs.
That guy did the cholesterol.
Any of it. The salt in the wieners, the cholesterol in the eggs, none of that's good. It's not good to eat that much.
Salt in the wieners, cholesterol in the eggs.
Yeah. You got your and your noms.
And your
What's that?
pasta.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking about taking crazy burls, man, I've been pretty sick today. I woke up this morning with a terrible thundering in my belly.
The rumble guts.
I got the hot snakes,
the drop apes.
the drop apes. I know you're talking to one of my buddies about this, about how like my diet really changed when I moved here to Taiwan. Like I'm sure you're going through this right now.
Mine's leveled out at this point, unless I eat something that I've not yet run into, which still happens on a regular basis. But yeah, the first several weeks I was here, it was like shit was going straight through me. I mean, not like sick wise or anything, but it's like
Your body doesn't know how to digest it.
exactly if it wasn't like digesting it and like you know how much water I drink. I was drinking tons of water, and like my pee was just constantly like way more yellow than it should. And I was like, man, it's like I need like normally I'm like I need more water, but like no matter how much I drank, it's like my body
You
was
were
like
4 liters a day, man. It was crazy.
yeah, and it was just like still, and it was just like not filtering shit out of my body. It was crazy because I guess your body's like, what is this? So we've never literally
What's going on?
This is ingredients and everything's different. It's on the other side of the planet from where you everything you've known for the biggest part of your life. So then it's like,
Well, the biggest difference for me is when I used to drink a lot of milk in America. I used to like drink like a gallon a week just by myself. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe even a little, maybe more. Well, it depends. If I would eat a lot of cereal, I'd have a lot of milk. You know. Mm-hmm. As a grown, I was surprised to find, and I found this out very late in life. Mm-hmm. Surprised to find out that every barrel doesn't need to be an emergency.
you're just drinking too much. Maybe you're lactose intolerant.
I think maybe, man. It still happens today. Like, the other day I bought that big box of cereal and I was eating some.
Yeah.
Yeah, it fucked me up, man.
As soon as you drink milk, just pow.
Just pow, explosive. I got the boom butt.
Yeah. So you lived your whole life with emergency burl status. Like
I just thought that's how it was, man.
Like every time you had to burl, it was like, now or...
Now!
Yeah.
Just like what I thought it was like.
Yeah.
Like people jumping out of a goddamn helicopter. We're over the drop zone, go! But then I came here and I was like,
Yeah, things leveled out. That's probably what it was, man. All that milk.
I bet you that. I mean, that's really the biggest change in my diet is I don't drink a lot of milk anymore, man. Mm-hmm. Lost a bunch of weight not drinking milk.
Yeah.
That's my ticket to success. Just don't drink milk.
Just don't drink milk.
Just don't drink milk. The Sandmark story.
The more emergency burls.
You see, because milk is.
Yeah, you want more.
No, that's ice cream, man.
That's ice cream?
Which one's ice cream? My little brother still drinks tons of milk, and I even suggested to him recently, like, man, maybe we should cut out the milk. He's like, no, I need it. The thing is, I love milk.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm not a big milk fan. I probably drank maybe a gallon of milk in the past 10 years.
No way.
Yeah, I don't drink it. Seriously, about once. This is when I had access to milk a lot.
Access.
Not that there's no access
Had your
to
fingers
it
in all
here.
kinds of milks.
Yeah. But just like people, there was always milk. Like I never buy it, like unless I need it to cook with or
Sure.
some random. But then I just get like a small container because I just don't drink it. Because that's one of those things people always gave me shit because I'd put my Oreos in water.
No way.
Yeah, does the exact same thing. You don't taste the milk. I mean, maybe a little bit, but for me, I always did it just to make them soft. I was always like, because I liked putting them in it to make them soft, but then my mom was always like, drink the milk, and I'm like, oh, I don't want the milk. It's like, well, you poured a glass of milk to dunk cookies in, I'm not throwing, so I'd always have to drink the milk, and it made me like, I didn't even want the cookies because I had to drink the milk.
Oh, wow, interesting. That's really,
Yeah.
You know, let me improve your Oreo game. Chopsticks.
Oh yeah,
Get them on either side, man.
yeah. You can dunk the whole thing with
That's
them.
right. I mean, Cheetos eat Cheetos with chopsticks.
Yeah, I saw you doing that. That's a good idea. So you don't get the cheese fingers,
Yeah.
which some sickos like to suck the cheese, that layer of cheese off their fingers at the end.
What
But
do you do? What do? You just wash them?
Yeah, I don't suck the fucking ends of your fingers.
Not my fingers. Don't suck my fingers.
Yeah, no.
Hey, man, can you clean my fingers?
But it's like, but I don't know. I just don't. I mean, I will suck. But I don't know. I try not to do it. It kind of, if I catch myself doing it, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't like, if I eat ribs or something, I get on my hands. I don't like to suck it off.
What?
I don't know. It's just gross. I don't know. It's just, putting your fingers in your mouth.
Really?
But I know I'm eating with them. I don't know.
Do you bite your fingernails?
Sometimes, yeah. Same thing.
You put fingers in your mouth?
I know. It's probably just when I was a kid and it stuck with me.
That's odd.
Like my grandparents or something being like, "Don't suck your fingers. Don't put your fingers in your mouth." And I don't know.
I just get that.
I get. Well, I mean,
Scrape that shit.
Okay, that's probably a lie. I bet I do it more. I bet I suck my fingers eating barbecue if I'm alone. If I'm out at a restaurant eating, I won't suck my fingers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because if I saw somebody else sucking their fingers, I'd like, look at that monkey sucking his fingers, and then.
That makes sense. I
But
guess
if I was
what you're saying.
like when I eat pasta by myself, I'll just become a fucking animal. I'm like, I'm just slurping it, and I've got it all over my beard and stuff. But then when I'm out, I'm like real dainty and careful.
I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling where like you're being watched while you eat.
I would never take. That's why I'd never take a first date to eat spaghetti. Unless you don't know, that could be a telltale thing. I mean, you could go and be like, let's see how she eats spaghetti. Because it might be neat, because either two things would happen. Either she would eat it very normally like you would out of the house as an adult, or she would eat it completely crazy. But then that's where the decision would be. It'd be like, okay, do I like that? Does that give me free reign to eat like I normally do alone in public if she's doing it with me? Or would you be like, oh, you should reel that in?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I guess the perfect match would be one that, would eat it like a human outside, but when we made pasta at home, we could just sit on the couch and just get it all over the place.
That's what one thing I do. We go crazy when we eat stuff.
Yeah. Because that's just common sense. It's your own house. You can eat like a pig if you want. You can sit and fucking eat spaghetti naked, do whatever you want to do.
I used to go buy whole goddamn rotisserie chickens and just watch Steven Universe and just eat the whole thing with my hands. I used to try to watch something. This was a dilemma, man. I needed to watch something that was long enough that I didn't have to touch my mouse and keyboard until I was done with the chicken.
I've been there, yeah.
I gotta put something on that I don't have to manipulate when I eat this bird.
You fucking quit, but then you gotta like find whichever pinky's the cleanest. Because usually the pinkies are the last ones to get it, and you like find it, and you're like, oh.
And one time I was doing that, and someone came into my room, and I was like, "Don't look at me,
Happy Meister,"
just covered in grease.
Back when I used to have a cat, I would always put it in a different room and lock the door before I ate, just because I wouldn't even. So I was like, I'm gonna eat this whole goddamn chicken, and I don't even want to have to deal with looking at this cat wanting some. I just like put it in the. I would trick it. I'd just pick it up and throw it in the room and close the door. Then I'd.
How's that a trick?
Oh yeah, that's not a trick. That's just being a giant creature, putting a smaller creature into a.
I would trick it. I'd pick him up and put him in the door.
Sometimes I would throw a toy or something in there, which is equal. But then I realized I was like, that's kind of mean because it thinks I'm playing with it. Like, here, go get it, and then just close it up in the room.
It's like,
the fuck? God damn it!
Was that Dibbles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only pet I've ever had as an adult.
Yeah, I've never had a pet. I do think we kind of need to have a cat, but like.
Yeah. Because cats are pretty independent. Like, they're not emotionally needy like a dog. You know, if you just don't pay enough attention to a dog, like they get, or like parrots and shit, they get depressed. I don't need to deal with that.
No, for sure, yeah. A cat can kind of just do its own thing.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like our apartment's big enough for a cat, man.
I think it's absolutely big enough, man. I used to have Dibbles, and I lived in apartments smaller than this one. Mm-hmm. And they could go out here and look over the edge.
You wouldn't be worried about him jumping around?
No, it's not going to go anywhere. It can't get anywhere. It could maybe hop up on that thing. It could go up into my room. It could come down and play in here. If it's I bet it'd be smart enough to learn how to open the door so it could go out when it wanted to just go out and look around. I think a cat would be totally fine in here.
Shit, man, are we about to buy a cat?
You have to buy him? You can just go catch one, I bet. That's how people get. Yeah, that's a bad idea. Catch some fucking crazy river cat. The one that survived against those wild packs of dogs that roam by the river.
I feel, that would solve our rat problem. I don't know a rat would come and fuck around here. There's a cat prowling around.
I bet it would eat John Longs and stuff too.
Yeah. John Long, that's Chinese for grass or cockroach.
Cockroach.
Yeah.
I love calling them John Longs.
Dude, it's the best. If you can think of the Chinese word in an English way, it makes it easy to remember.
Yeah.
Like passion fruit is 100 smell good fruit by Shangguo. And I could never remember it, but then one of the things like it's 100 smell good fruit. And I was like, oh, Bai Shangguo.
Bai Shangguo. 100 smell good fruit. What in the hell?
Because they're so little tiny in there.
Oh, I got you.
And they smell good. Yeah. So it's 100 smell good fruit.
Like I rented that cockroach. Actually, that's the first one I've seen outside here. Personally, that's the first cockroach I've seen other than the one we saw down the street.
John Long.
Yeah. And it's fun because like when I saw him, I was like, oh shit. And in my mind, I personified it like it was a man named John Long. And that's what I told you. I was like, I ran into John Long upstairs. You're like, oh yeah? I was like, yeah. I was like, I wonder if he'd come to my room and
that's got to be like what, of the handful of Chinese words you know. Yeah. That someone stuck real hard.
John Long.
John Long.
So I imagined him as like a little cowboy. He was like, can I come in your room and hang out? And I'm like, no, John Long, I'm going to have to kill you. And he's like, yeah.
One thing taught me the word or the other day, and it sounds like the word horse. Horse.
Huh.
Is or.
Or?
Horse. Horse.
Use that.
Yeah, or is kind of hard. The only time I ever use it if I want to say left or right. Like, you'll be in horses.
Oh, or.
Or.
I thought you were mean like or like that you row a boat with. I was like, when would I ever use that?
Oh yeah, well, or like like a mineral like iron.
Yeah, that shit like an iron ore. My mind immediately thought you said that, and I was like, well, that's an odd word to learn. Why would I need to know or?
I was doing one of those apps. It was like learn Chinese apps, and like the third word it taught me was claws. And I was like, how about some numbers?
Yeah, give me some fucking letters. That's my problem with all of them, man. It tells you, like, the one you were just doing, it was like, this is not a horse. And I'm like, when would I say that?
Well, the lesson I was in was animals, but yeah.
Okay, well, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
So you're learning the animal. But I was like, if you're in, like, basic sentences, and it's like, tell me, like, how do I go here? Or these are the numbers and letters, not claws, and is this a horse? It's like, what the walking around like I'm saying stuff a maniac would say.
That Chinese one had how he claws, apartment, and a palm tree, and I was like, all words I don't need to know. They didn't stick because I don't need that.
Right. That's my thing. It's hard. The ones I use, I remember them, but the ones that if I don't use it, like because you tell me words like every day, and if I don't use it a few times that day, I don't remember it.
Yeah, when you go and order stuff, that's the best way to learn because you're going to use it when you go. Like when I walked in, all I said was, I want 2 number 4s. And she was like, okay. And then she repeated it in English, like, so you want 2 number 4s? I'm like, All right, right on. Well, I'm going to keep talking Chinese.
Well, she probably saw you with me because the last time I went in there, it was a fucking ordeal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I went in and asked for, as soon as I walked in, the lady goes, spicy chicken. I was like, nah, I'm good.
She just pointed at you and said spicy chicken?
Yeah, she pointed at me and said spicy chicken.
You come in the door and she goes, hey, man, spicy chicken?
Spicy chicken. And I went, nah. And I pointed at there's pictures right there on the menu, and I pointed at the Big Mac combo, and then there's a choice of combos that you can get. You can get fries or a salad or something else. But I saw one online.
I feel like you ordered tea and a salad.
I did, and they gave me French fries. Yeah.
She might have asked me that.
I think probably in the beginning, and then I just said tea. I think you said like the number one, which is fries and a Coke, and I wanted tea and the side.
There was a couple things in the middle that I didn't really understand, so I just kept going, how, which just means okay. I was like, whatever.
But somehow I walked in there, I pointed at a Big Mac, I pointed at the thing, it said fries and a Coke, but then here's where I think I screwed up. It's because I saw online that you could get either with the fries or instead of the fries, a 4-piece nugget.
Where were you online? McDonald's.com?
Yeah, but it was the Chinese one.
Before you went to McDonald's, I'm going to go to McDonald's. Let me look up some deals on McDonald's.com.
Yeah.
You really?
I do that usually anytime before I go somewhere. I'll get on, and if I know I'm going, I'll be like, let's see what's going on here.
I've never once been to McDonald's.com. Let me check it out. So anyway, go ahead.
You have to translate it. It translates weird, and it doesn't look like it translated, but when you click on the actual sub-menus, it'll translate into craziness. One of everything is, read one of them. It's like bunker. They call the sandwiches bunkers. It's like double meat American bunker. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Well, no, but it might be because hambao is a burger, but it doesn't actually mean anything.
Okay.
It's just a phonetic.
Right.
It sounds like hamburger. So
right.
when you translate it, translate hambao into something.
So it translates it into bunker.
I guess, because it does, like sangming chi is sandwich, but it doesn't.
Right. So when you get on there, if it's going to show it, it'll show bunker. Anyway, but yeah, I'll try to, my dumb ass tries to order, instead of just being simple and being like, I want the Big Mac with the fries and the Coke. I said, I want the Big Mac with the Coke, but instead of fries, I want nuggets. And I was trying to find nuggets, and I don't
made that way more complicated.
Yeah, and somehow, and then she goes, 8. She goes, oh, nugget, and she goes, 8.
In English?
Yeah. And like, yeah, she goes, 8.
You know how to say 8 in Chinese?
No, I run out about 7. Just ba.
Do you know 7?
I run short after 5. I use 1 through 5 a lot.
The number's getting smaller and smaller. I run short about 7. What's 7? How about 5?
Because I use 1 through 5, it seems like a lot, and then after that, yeah, I don't really remember them.
1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10。
There you go.
我的中文好棒! Whenever I speak Chinese, I always say it like a fucking Japanese samurai. 我的中文很强!
That's what one team's friend said. I said, excuse me, like a gangster. Because I go, buhaisa. And they're like, you say that like a gangster.
They also said they like listening to you speak English because it's slower than mine. They're like, oh, we can understand your friend better than you.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Like slow molasses across a piece of toast.
Where I'm just like, hey, man, what's going on?
Hey. I'm like, yeah, you guys like the doop-de-doo.
Like this here Taiwan you got going. So anyway, you ordered a bunch of McDonald's.
Oh yeah, I ordered a bunch of McDonald's, and I just got what I ended up with. That's what I thought. And she said 8 nuggets, and I said no.
This is what's so fun about living in Taiwan is going to goddamn McDonald's is an adventure.
Yeah,
like it's not just as simple as going to goddamn McDonald's. Like,
yeah. Which is great, which is fun about 90% of the time. But then sometimes you're like, God damn it, I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, you just stay home and don't eat anything.
But I'm like, that would be good, but then it's going to be a whole thing. It's going to be a whole fucking rigmarole, and I'm not feeling it today. It's rainy, and I just don't fuck. Yeah, but somehow I thought they figured it out, and she was like 8, and then I was like, no, 4. Well, immediately, like about the time that conversation took place, and she told me how much it was, and I gave her the money, they set down this huge bag of food. And then like what looked like a Happy Meal beside of it. And I just kept standing there because I was like, there's no way that's mine. It was, even for fast food, it was ridiculously quick.
For sure.
And plus it was way more food. I was sure it was, but I would look around, I was like, oh, there's nobody else there. And then the guy like nods at me and like motions at the food like, this is your food. And I went, this? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, all of this is mine? And he's like, yeah. And like, I kind of looked because I thought I was like, that seemed a little expensive, but I was like, all right, whatever. And I got it and looked in the box and there's all these nuggets. I said, these are mine? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I left. They gave me 2 Cokes, a French fry, a Big Mac, and 20 chicken nuggets. And I was like, all I wanted was I wanted 4 and no French fries. And I somehow got fries and 20 nuggets.
And 2 Cokes.
And 2 Cokes. Which I didn't think I said anything about Coke.
Where did you get? Did they put a?
Oh yeah, no, I did say Coke because I said Coca-Cola, and then she said Coca-Cola, and then the guy behind him went, no, I said Coke, and she kind of gave me a funny look, and the guy behind her said Coca-Cola, and I went, yeah, Coca-Cola.
I'll teach you here. Look, you can learn cola easy. It's just cola. Sounds just like cola.
Exactly.
Cola.
That's one of those things like you said here. A lot of times you say it like you think you would figure out if I said cola.
But if you said
No, I said
if
Coke.
you just said cola,
I said Coke.
yeah. If you say Coke, they don't know, and if you say Coca-Cola, they don't know.
Okay.
Because I asked for a Coca-Cola on the airplane I was just on. I was in Cambodia,
Yeah.
and the lady was like, "What?" And I was like, "Cola," and she was like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, I said Coke, and then she kind of said what, but the guy behind it, or who was like making putting the fries in the thing, yeah, he turned around and said, he out loud, he said Coca-Cola, but then she knew what that was. I said, yeah, Coca-Cola, and then she knew. But when I said Coke, she was like, what?
Yeah.
But somehow I ended up with two of them. Anyway, I had all this fucking food, and of course I looked like the big fat American walking home with an armload of McDonald's. Like, look at him.
I'm gonna tell you something, buddy. You always look like the big fat American.
Yeah.
Me too, man. Look, when you and I are walking around, I mean, I'm kind of beardy right now. I gotta clean this up. This is the beardiest I've ever been.
Yeah.
Not ever, but
Pretty beardy.
I'm pretty beardy. This has been only 2 weeks, man. Not even 2 weeks. You got pretty beardy pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty beardy.
Pretty quick.
Yeah, man. I was just in Cambodia last week. We were talking about this on the podcast. I don't think we said anything about this.
No.
Have you talked about this on the podcast? Have you talked about this on the podcast? No, it's not really anything funny happened there. Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, turns out just a pile of rocks, man.
Yeah.
I want to go.
No, go ahead. There's something we were talking about, I think, last night in here before you were trying to go to bed, and you got my brain going about something, and I've already forgotten what it was. It was something I was like, you shouldn't have told me that because that would be funny to talk about, but now I don't even remember, so it's going to hit me again. You said something that was fucking ridiculous.
What was it about? What was the context? What were we talking about?
Give me a second here.
Animals? Food? Science?
No, hold on. It was about...
A movie? Hey, Pill Paulson's in the chat.
Hey, it's I remember there was something about. I remember saying this is our off. I mean, this is how we really are. Because in a normal conversation before, we were trying to go take a shower, and I'm telling you about some nonsense, and you kept telling me get to the goddamn point. Oh, we were talking about Ghost Rider 2. Is what we started out talking about.
Oh yeah, Ghost Rider 2.
And then I started talking about. I wonder what we were talking about whether or not the Dalai Lama masturbates, and it was like, what do you think he thinks about if he masturbates? And it was like enlightenment. Yeah, but it was something along those lines. That wasn't what it was, but it was something in that conversation we were having that you said something. I went, what? I said, you should have told me that because that's fucking ridiculous.
I know what it is.
Okay.
The woman who wrote The Color Purple.
Oh, God damn it. This is it. This is it.
Let me see if I can find Let me see if I can find the exact one. Because I got to find the exact phrase. Because I remember because I said it to you and you went, oh, don't tell me that.
I said, I'm getting ready to try to go to sleep, man. You're getting my brain going thinking about how ridiculous that is.
Okay. It's, oh, come on, no way.
I don't know what's in this tea I'm drinking. It says it's got multigrain. It says multigrain activate tea. That's the only English on it. From the top of it has all kinds of hamburgers and fried food. So I hope it's saying if you eat this shit, drink this tea, and it'll help negate the effects of eating all this shit. I hope it's not like, hey, we took all the shit that's in this food in these pictures and it's in this tea now. Because there's something that looks like a hairy pickle at the bottom with arms and legs and a little face. What is he? Is that supposed to be tea?
He looks like Taiwan.
No, he's still got a pickle or something. He's got a stem. Kind of does look like Taiwan, though. But he's like going booga booga booga. It looks like a hairy pickle. I'll have to get it in my Google Translate. Man, that thing saved the day for me. Yes. I like just going around taking pictures of stuff and translating it.
That's pretty great.
That's how I learned all about how to decipher nutritional information. And that those fucking noodles that I bought in a single serving have 2 days worth of sodium in them. That's why I'm not eating them yet. I'm like, if I want to eat 2 days worth of sodium, I'll get a bunch of fucking hamburgers.
Here it is. I found it.
Yeah.
The name of this woman is Alice Walker. She's the one woman who wrote The Color Purple.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Color Purple.
Oprah Winfrey.
It was a book that was turned into a movie. It's like African American. To be honest, I don't know anything about it. I just know there's a bunch of black people in it, and it has something to do with. Why you make that face? So I said black people. There are a bunch of black people in that movie.
Yeah, don't make a face.
Yeah, you went.
I think I was tonguing this thing in my tooth, but anyway.
So this movie.
Right.
Okay, so the woman who wrote that believes that the Earth is secretly controlled by giant interdimensional lizards who came to Earth to harvest gold that strengthens their lizard nervous systems.
That is absolutely ridiculous. She wrote The Color Purple. Like,
Which came first?
she took a break from that nonsense to be like, hey, hold on, I gotta write this book. So we turned into an award-winning movie. Yeah.
Let me set this ball down.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Because I don't know. That seems like something, is that something she recently got into? Because how do you go, because the first thing of writing that seems perfectly normal. I mean, can you believe that level of horse shit and still function on a level that can write that type of a novel? Because if so, that's frightening. I want to know who these people are. And I was hoping they would you would see me like, oh, that's one of those guys. Like when you're standing in line at the grocery store and some guy just starts talking crazy shit about something he sees on the front of the paper there, and you're like, oh, all right, I know who you are now, you know? But if someone comes say, oh, I wrote The Color Purple, people be like, oh, that's great. You're probably an intelligent, reasonable person, you know, who was able to
But is that really fair? Is that fair to jump to that conclusion? Just because you wrote an award-winning book doesn't make you, I mean...
Right, no.
Because they don't meet your heroes. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because they might believe in interdimensional space lizards.
Yeah, that fucking eat gold or whatever it was.
It's such a specific thing to think.
It's so specific. It's so specifically bonkers, too. That's the kind of the craziest ones, because they put so much thought into it that it's like, that's what... See, but that makes me want to set them down and be like, trick them into a thing, being like, oh, we want to talk about your novel, The Color Purple. That's what I'm thinking, because I wonder if they knew that. That's why I'm thinking this must have come after that, because how, as a journalist, if you had that bit of information that's what their belief system was, how would you not, under the guise of journalism, fool them into thinking you're going to talk about their new book, or even when the movie came out, the movie based on their book, and then just completely flip flop it on and be like, okay, well, actually, the reason I'm here today is to talk about how you believe in the world is ruled by lizard people.
You sit down for the interview, you're wearing a lizard mask.
Yeah.
Hello.
Remember me?
You're right. It had to have come out after.
Yeah.
That belief is, but because I've seen that before. People believe like that the world is run by lizard people. Like they say, like Justin Bieber is like a reptile, and
yeah, and there's a theory that like the world's hollow.
Yeah, and inside is full
of like lizard people or something.
But what if they're controlling everyone? Why wouldn't they do it overtly? Like,
yeah, why would you need to stink around as a lizard person? If they're way more powerful than us and they're living here, why not just be like, why just not come out and be like, rule over us? Why live among us and control us through Congress and shit like that? What a convoluted way to rule a planet, you know what I mean? Like, instead of just going in and
anyone who believes in this that would be willing to come on the podcast and talk to us about it?
I don't know, but I would love to.
Would that be hard? Would that be hard? Because we would be kind of... I'm
telling you, I'll be a little biased of being like, you're full of shit. It's gonna be really hard. I would be an open. I know. I would be. I would.
I remember talking to a guy I used to work with at Best Buy. He was into chemtrails. You ever heard of chemtrails?
I've heard of it.
It's where, do you know what they are?
Yeah.
The plane, like there's like all the planes that are going around. The government hooked up a machine that shoots out chemicals into the air that we all breathe in. It does something, but that's why you see those big trails of cloud behind cloud.
Yeah, see, I would like to hear the reason for that, because I just thought it was the vapor from the engines.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
exactly
freezing because they're at such a high altitude.
Yeah, I had a buddy who believed I tried to convince him.
I know some people that know, they're into some wacky stuff, but not that wacky. Not so wacky that they think that we're ruled by, but they're kind of into some conspiracy stuff.
I feel like chemtrails is just as, and that's not even just as wacky as interdimensional lizard people.
Yeah,
but
that's just kind of like government conspiracy stuff. And I've got some friends I know, there are people that are into some stuff kind of like that. But I mean, if I was talking to something like that, I would honestly think I'll set it aside. Be like, okay, honestly, I'm not going to just open my mind up completely and just be like, okay, just explain it. Go, just lay it out and see what they had to say. It's going to be a hard road for them, but I would honestly just be like, all right, just explain, just lay it, because I'd like to hear it. I'd like to hear you know what I mean? I'm totally fine with it.
I feel like rarely do those people...
And I don't give a shit if that's what you want to believe.
I do, though. I do a little bit, because, like, people can't go around thinking these kind of things.
They can. They just shouldn't have jobs and... things where they can influence people with that level of baloney. But I don't know. I would really like, honestly, just to hear it just laid out. Like, here's why it is. And like in a rational way where it's not some bonkers person. I would actually like to hear that lady lay it out because I'm sure she could do it probably clearly and concisely without start foaming at the mouth over like why we're all, you know what I mean?
To be honest, I didn't click the article or anything, so maybe it's even just taken out of context.
Okay.
I don't know how. I don't know how you can take something like that out of context, but
That's pretty specifically out of context then, I guess.